histories of other lands are measured in centuries, that of Egypt is measured in millennia.
We move now to Egypt, the Nile. Egyptian history is quite easy to follow because the earliest periods it's in Lower Egypt, the middle period it's in Middle Egypt, and the final period it's in Upper Egypt. Here we enter the area around 4000 BC. 4000 BC, the goddess again, from Egypt, from the Nile. This is from the period known as Badari. This is from a tomb at Hierakonpolis, a tomb with 2 chambers. Suggests Sati again. This is an early mural on that tomb. There's nothing Egyptian about it. And then suddenly, around 3200 BC, first, second dynasties, we have the arrival and development of a specifically and indubitably Egyptian art form, which remains then for 3,000 years. The sudden appearance, there it is, that's Egypt. This is called Narmer's palette, and it is King Narmer of Upper Egypt wearing the crown of Upper Egypt, subduing the pharaoh, or whatever one would call him, of the delta. Here is his totem animal, the hawk, with the king of the delta, or the delta by the nose. This is the papyrus swamps of the delta. Here are the enemy slain. This figure up here, this cow figure, is Hathor, the goddess of the horizon. And she appears, and you'll see when I reverse this, in 4 aspects here. The king is wearing a belt. He's wearing a bull's tail. He is the moon bull incarnate. The pharaoh is the highest god. He is Osiris, the moon bull incarnate. And on his belt are the face forms of Hathor in front, in back, and on either side. The pharaoh fills the horizon. This is the other side. Here's Hathor again. Here is the king now wearing the crown of Lower Egypt, of the delta. These are the symbols of his pharaonic power. These are the dead of the delta's armies. And here are the animals symbolic of Upper and Lower Egypt forming one great state. From here on, Egypt is the 2 lands, Upper and Lower Egypt, and the pharaoh undergoes 2 installations on the throne, 2 coronations, one with the crown of Upper, the other with the crown of Lower Egypt. And here we have the 2 incarnations of the king, the crown of Upper and the crown of Lower Egypt, which then become combined. This is the burial of one of these kings. The whole court buried. Now we come to the first of the great pyramids. This is the step pyramid of King Zoser, 2600 BC. And this is built by the great architect Imhotep. One can visit this great compound today, and it's a beautiful experience, really. All the temple architecture and all of the motifs of later architecture in Egypt are stated here. 2600 BC, suddenly they come to form. The earlier graves were covered by earth mounds, which have washed away with time. But here now we have the first of the pyramids. Here are the 3 major pyramids. And this is a pyramid complex. There would be the Nile and the ceremonial altars and chapels all about. Now what the Sphinx represents is the power of pharaonic rule. Every king is, as it were, an incarnation of this power. The Sphinx is the son of the lion goddess Sekhmet by a strange moon-like god called Ptah, who's usually represented as a mummy. But a moonbeam impregnated the goddess, and she gave birth to the Sphinx. Now we come to the middle period. The pharaoh is the incarnation of Osiris, and he is protected by the sun hawk Horus, who is the son of Osiris. Early dynasties, then there comes what's called the first intermediary period, when for a number of dynasties. There was nothing but upheaval and destruction. Then the Middle Kingdom comes again, and finally that is wiped out by an invasion from Asia, known as the invasion of the Hyksos. One theory for the entry of the Jews into Egypt is that they came in at the time of the Hyksos. This is just shortly following the time of Hammurabi, which I've just spoken about. If that were so, however, they would not have been there in the time of Ramses, because the Hyksos were thrown out at the time of the founding of the New Kingdom. These are the great dynasties of which we mostly read. And now I want to give the basic myth of Osiris and Isis and so forth. This is the heaven goddess Nut, just the opposite to the way it is in Mesopotamia, where the god is above and the goddess is the earth. Here we have the heaven goddess Nut, spangled with stars, and here is her consort Heb, the earth god. This is the lord of the cosmic abyss out of which all has come. Riding on the sky boat, the great boat of Re, the god of the sun, the souls that are in this barge course over the sky, and instead of descending like this, they enter the mouth of Nut and then are born in the east. This is the west where they set, and here is the east where the barge emerges. Here is the Lord of Air, who separates heaven and earth. These are basic mythic motifs that will occur in many other mythologies. Now,